Welcome to the UX Nuggets series, where each week we will explore the techniques of UX and give best practice examples of how we use these techniques in real-world UX projects. My name is Ben Sterling, and I run Made with Maturity, a UX design agency. And episode 10 of UX Nuggets is all about designing for accessibility. And this fits into the design category. So when designing for accessibility, the current standard is to follow the WCAG 2.2 guidelines. And this summary adheres to the AA level of accessibility. So if you've read the guidelines, you'll know that they are pretty long and there is a lot of detail for developers. Now we've summarized 8 of the key points for UX designers that we believe that we should be paying special attention to when designing for accessibility. So number 1 is heading structures. Ensure all your content and design fits into a logical heading structure, making good use of sequential H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 markup. Number 2 is good contrast ratios. Now there are many online contrast checkers that you can use to test between text color and background color, but WCAG 2.2 level AA requires a contrast ratio of at least 4.5 to 1 for normal text and 3 to 1 for large text or graphics and user interface components such as form input borders. So point number 3 is true text instead of images of text. So where at all possible, we will use real text rather than text inside images. So true text, it enlarges better, it loads faster, and it's easier to translate and to customize. So point number 4 is adequate font size. Now there are no fixed rules here as all fonts present differently, but usually not less than 10 pixels for body text is a good rule of thumb. Point number 5 is line length. So when it comes to usability around designing a line length, as in lines of text, we try to aim for approximately 65 characters per line as a general rule of thumb for the main body text. For smaller columns, that will reduce. So reading a long line of type, it causes fatigue. So the reader must move their head at the end of each line if it's long and search for the beginning of the next line. But if the line's too short, it breaks up words or phrases that are generally read as a unit. So line length is important. Point number 6 is links are recognizable. So we distinguish links from body text using more than just color. So for instance, with an underline or making it bold. So we will use color as well to ensure links are easily identifiable for all users, but we're not required to use the de facto kind of blue link that we used to see many years ago. Every link was blue. We're not required to do that. We can make sure that all the elements are designed within your color palette. Point number 7, link text must make sense on its own. So we will ensure that the link text will be descriptive yet short. So any link that goes to a different destination will have a different label. So we'll therefore avoid things like a link that just says click here, or another link which is a bit ambiguous which just says more or continue. And the final point, point 8, is not relying on color to convey content. So users may override or may not be able to see differences between colors. Therefore, we need to use other design techniques to be able to communicate content. So there are our guidelines for designing for accessibility. There's some great starters there, but there are many more guidelines that you'll need to adhere to. That's the end of episode 10, Designing for Accessibility. Next week, episode 11, is all about sourcing users for research. See you next time.